Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. His legs shackled and a chain around his waist. This was how 26/11 plotter Tahawwur Rana was handed over by US Marshals to Indian officials in Los Angeles. Now, Times Now was the first to show you the exclusive image which captures a pivotal moment in one of the most guarded intelligence operations in recent history, codenamed Operation Rana. This top-secret cross-continental mission was carried out with utmost precision. Senior NI officials, elite NSG commandos and hand-picked intelligence personnel all on board a specially designated aircraft from Los Angeles with India's most wanted. The aircraft was tracked in real time by air traffic control units and central agencies. It made a covert refueling stop in Europe before entering Indian airspace. Now, with credible threats coming in from Pakistan-based terror outfits, India left nothing to chance. Sources say that such was the sensitivity of the mission that one NI official reportedly held Rana's hand throughout the journey to prevent any chance of self-harm. When Rana landed in India, he was immediately arrested and produced in court under the tightest security blanket. Last night, a Delhi court sent him to 18 days of NIA custody. And since 11 a.m. today, the 26/11 terrorist interrogation has begun in a highly secured cell located on the third floor of the NIA headquarters. On this edition of the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, we are bringing you 4 back-to-back exclusives on Tahawwur Rana files. Let's get started with this exclusive news break. Number 1, as far as Mr. X is concerned, Times Now's access documents that were submitted in US courts as part of Tahawur Rana David Headley probe files. Now, these documents mention intercepted conversations between Rana and Headley. In one of the conversations, David Headley asked Rana not to visit India in the fall of 2008 before the 26/11 terror attacks. He, in fact, has facilitated a meeting in Dubai with a certain Mr. X. Now, nobody knows who this Mr. X is and how did this person know about the Mumbai attacks plot well in advance. Well, what was that conversation about? Let's break it down graphically. This is what we're talking about as far as the Tahawwur Rana files are concerned. Headley tells Rana, avoid traveling to India. He further goes on as far as this conversation is concerned. We can quickly bring it up on our screens. Organize this Dubai meeting as well. This is, of course, as far as the meeting in Dubai is concerned. And in fact, he's also talked about meeting. Go meet Mr. X in Dubai is what is communicated to Rana. Finally, that meeting does take place. I met X in Dubai is confirmed by Rana as far as this Dubai meeting is concerned. Let's quickly get in the next set of graphics. And he has now confirmed that the attacks have taken place. So that's how the confirmation comes in as far as these individuals are concerned. Let's quickly bring in Bhavtosh on this. Bhavtosh, why is this meeting significant? Because not only does it talk about the kind of relationship and communication between Headley and Rana, but it also highlights that the fact they wanted to not just carry out recce's as far as 26/11 is concerned, but also wanted to confirm the actual impact of what they had done the recce for. Ostensibly, Mr. X could very well be someone from the Pakistan deep state.
Yes, Madhav. In fact, the documents that we have accessed from US intelligences and also from court clearly shows that the planning of 26/11 started way back in 2000, how this surveillance should be done. And at the same time, Headley was also informing Rana that he has carried out recce's of particular place and location. And both of them were in direct touch with each other. It started in August 2005. Then again, it happened in July 2006 and again in 2007. But it's the meeting that happened in March 2008, in the fall of 2008, where he specifically tell him to go and meet a co-conspirator. The meeting was held in Dubai, and Rana then informs David Headley Coleman that the planning has already taken place and the attack will take place on 26th November 2008. Now, if Headley was one of the main accused, so is Tahawwur Rana. That clearly shows in the court documents that have been submitted by Department of Justice and FBI, and that's where the real proof against Tahawwur Rana lies. The meeting that have taken place from 2005 and also the March 2008 intercepts.
All right, there's news break number 2 coming in. Priyank Tripathi also joining us on the show. And this is the information coming in that we're breaking. NIA, during its interrogation, will try to extract details of the members of the sleeper cell who are in touch with Rana and Headley in India. Rana has been asked by NIA to reveal the names of people he met when he came to India and where did he meet them. David Headley in particular held extensive surveillance operations across multiple cities in India. What's the focus of NIA's probe on the sleeper cell angle? Let's break down the details of the questions that NIA is likely to ask Tahawwur Rana. Who are you in touch with in India? Who are the individuals who they spoke to is likely to be one of the questions. Who in India helped Headley during his visits? Who helped set up the operations here in India is another question. Whom did you meet and where did you meet them? Are some of the questions that are going to be posed. Who helped Headley conduct the recce's in Mumbai, for instance? Were there others? Did Headley in fact meet in Delhi and Goa other individuals as well? Who has asked Headley to survey Pune's Osho ashram, for instance, is one of the questions. Who was Headley in touch with for the Pushkar visit is amongst the questions as well. But Priyank is joining us for more on this. Priyank, apart from these questions, what's most significant is who are these sleeper cells? Who are the individuals who are present and provided that logistical support as far as Headley and Rana are concerned?
Yes, certainly, Madhav, because Tahawwur Rana also visited India in the year 2008, soon before the attack, and over the period of next few months, he was the one who was facilitating these tours and travel for David Coleman Headley, who was doing the groundwork for Tahawwur Rana. We are talking about a highly radicalized terrorist who has been trained in Pakistan soil, and not even that, he was a big conduct in the hand of the ISI. So the agencies will try to know that who were the assets who were built by these individuals, while David Coleman Headley had been traveling in Mumbai, Pune, and he has also come to the national capital, and they had also gone to Goa. So these are the prime things on which the National Investigating Agency will try to dig out detail in the due course of time. We know that they have 17 more days of time period in their hand, but that is a very crucial time period where they will be trying to extract maximum detail from this dread terrorist who was in prison for so many years. He was alone, and certainly the thought process could have gone much more. Today, what we were getting to know that there were basic questions which were asked to him regarding how he had spent his time there in the US prison, how he landed there, and how he actually managed to meet all those individuals from the ISI who was trying to deal with him. So today was a leaner day, but in the due course of time, the agency officials will be trying to question him with further detail.
Okay, what we are also Priyank and Bhavtosh, because there's more breaking news coming in. In fact, sources are telling Times now about David Headley's recce map, not just Mumbai. Headley visited many cities in India because Lashkar was plotting more attacks from Delhi to Goa to Pune to Pushkar. Headley surveyed possible targets and shared intel with his park handlers. But who helped him when he visited these cities? Did he operate as a lone wolf? Or did the sleeper cell facilitate these visits? Let's break down Headley's recce map. In fact, this is the information that we have. These are the possible areas that were surveyed. We know about the National Defence College in the national capital, and that's as far as Delhi is concerned. Which are the other areas which were planned as far as attacks in the national capital are concerned? Recce tourist spots in Goa as well, and that's of course where a large number of international tourists are there. Photos were then shared with the handlers as far as Goa is concerned. Pune is another area that was surveyed. The Osho ashram in particular, one of the areas that was surveyed in Pune. The Chabad house in Pune was also similar to the Chabad house in Mumbai that was in fact surveyed. In Pushkar in Rajasthan, there were intelligence that was gathered as far as targets are concerned. They identified key tourist areas. And also, of course, this was some of the areas that David Headley had surveyed while he was in India. All right, and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has reacted on Rana's extradition. He says on a post on X that we've extradited Tahawwur Hussain Rana to India to face charges for his role in planning the horrific 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks. Together with India, we have long sought justice as far as the 166 people are concerned, including 6 Americans who lost their lives in these attacks. I'm glad that day has come. Now, this is pretty much in line with what the U.S. State Department spokesperson has said, that U.S. is glad to cooperate with India as well. Next breaking news coming in, another exclusive number 4 on the show. After 26/11, Lashkar and Headley plotted more strikes. Headley again used the immigration business as cover in Denmark. And sources say that Headley kept Rana apprised of his surveillance actions, and Tahawwur Rana communicated Rana's elite contacts as far as this visit is concerned. Post 26/11, Denmark terror attack plot was foiled. All these details were revealed in US courts as well. Let's go back to Bhavtosh on this. Bhavtosh, very, very significant that they were angered with the Danish cartoon, and following that, they decided to ensure that there was a terror attack that was not successful. It did not eventually emerge, but that was very much something that Headley had used a similar modus operandi to conduct surveillance and recce's for. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav. In fact, David Headley Coleman as well as Tahawur Rana got emboldened with 2611, and subsequent to that, the same immigration cover was used by him to set up a business in Denmark. He also went to France, and on directions of Ilyas Kashmiri, he wanted to carry out a reconnaissance of Denmark. He visited Denmark on 2 occasions, but on 3rd of October 2009, he was detained and then subsequently arrested by FBI. And it was at that point of time that FBI started questioning him, and that entire plot was unraveled as to how David Headley Coleman from 2002 to 2003 onwards became a rogue agent, and he started getting training by Lashkar-e-Toiba, specifically by Major Javed as well as by Major Iqbal.
All right. Bhavtosh as well as Priyank, thanks so much for joining us with all those updates there. We certainly will keep coming back to you for more. But let me quickly open this up and take it across to our guest. Joining us is Magnus Ranstorp, who's a strategic advisor of the Center for Societal Security, Swedish Defence University. With us also is Lieutenant Colonel Sandeep Sen, retired former NSG officer who led the actions against the 2611 terrorists. Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP of UP, is with us. And Major General Sanjay Meston, retired defence expert, is also with us on the show. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. Let me begin with you. Magnus, this entire plot as far as the way in which Headley has conducted these recce's in Denmark, ostensibly because he was angered about the Danish cartoon, so on and so forth, is very, very similar, strikingly similar to the manner in which recce's were carried out as far as 2611 and other parts of India are concerned. What would you have to comment on this? Because thankfully those attacks did not materialize on ground. What more can you share with us on that? Magnus.
Well, obviously, David Headley redirected his focus on Denmark and actually traveled to Denmark, as was said earlier. He devised what was called the Mickey Mouse Project, and he was actually focusing in on casing, doing recce's on different targets in Denmark, focusing primarily on Jyllands-Posten, the paper who published the Prophet Muhammad cartoons. And of course, he was also doing reconnaissance on the central station, on a military parade. He actually asked the military parade whether they were actually carrying live ammunition. And he also reached out to different individuals to, very much like the Mumbai attack, he reached out to 2 individuals in Derby, UK, to see if they could provide some terrorists to carry out the operation. He also went to Stockholm to talk to a leading radical Islamist and asking the same thing, and it was denied. And then, of course, he then came back and he did, extensive reconnaissance on a numerous occasion. But of course, as you were saying, they were unveiled by his arrest by the FBI in the US.
Right. Very, very significant there that it is not one but multiple areas that have in fact been surveilled by these individuals. And let me bring in Major General Sanjay Meston. Major General Sanjay Meston, the question is this, that here is an individual who has been conducting these surveillance operations on not 1 or 2, but multiple locations globally as well as in India. And the manner in which they carried out, the very fact that they met individuals, for instance, in Dubai and got the confirmations of the attacks there could very well mean that they were in touch with those in the Pakistan deep state who are then keeping them informed or in the loop about what really was happening as far as their own surveillance and recce's on ground here in India. Just adds to the kind of not just the mystery, but also the kind of diabolical plot that these 2 individuals, Rana and Headley, had come up with. Major Sanjay Meston.
Yeah, absolutely right. See, the fact of the matter is these 2 individuals, Headley and Rana, they are highly radicalized. And the fact of the matter is that even as brought out by the earlier panelist, the Danish cartoon issue also show their radicalization. These are the only two Indians, two Pakistanis who have been on the Indian territory prior to the launching of the attacks. That means they had been to so many places in India. They had carried out detailed recce, maps were there. Not only maps, they had detailed videography. So this obviously proves that there was some deep state. And I would also go to the extent of saying definitely there were some Indian sympathizers or the so-called sleeper cells. They were helping him. Obviously, you raised a very pertinent issue during your commentary that they were provided logistic support, communications, everything, so many things. Who provided them the transport, that hiring of that building for that immigration office of Headley and of course Rana. So there are a large number of facts. So the matter of the issue is that most of these people were operating from Dubai. They were operating in India, and in India they had a free hand. Not only that, there's another thing which must be investigated is that how they managed to get the Indian visa, and that too I think Headley had been given a one-time visa for 5 years. This is another strange thing. And what was our immigration department doing? They have also got a responsibility if the embassy has faltered. Even our immigration department, when a person lands at Delhi airport, detailed checks are made. So right. If you just go into all these details, the fact of the matter is deep state, definitely it has been there. And also another thing I would like to highlight. See, David Headley had been started radicalizing and meeting elites since 2002. This is an open domain. He was being used by a department, the drug agency of the Drug Enforcement Agency of United States, and as a cover-up, for their operation. I think this facet also needs to be found out, and now India should go. Once these details are centered, we must go and even meet this gentleman in the United States to get more details from there.
All right. Please stay with us, Major General Meston. Let me quickly bring in Dr. Vikram Singh as well. Dr. Vikram Singh, I think one of the points that comes out of this is that how did these individuals get so much of logistical support on ground? Who are the sleeper cells involved? Who are the ones who they met and who provided them with all this help? Because otherwise, conducting such detailed recce's during the course of these multiple visits would not have been logistically possible. And that's something that the NIA will try and find out now.
Madhav, it is not just the sleeper cells alone. It was the who's who of the Bombay page 3 crowd. You had film stars and you had this sons. I would not like to take names just now, who were the willing accessories to the crime and worked as their tour agents. What to talk of sleeper cells? If Tahawwur Rana could open shop as his agency of International Immigration Agency in Mumbai and Tardeo without any hitch or have try opening a shop now. You are a leading journalist. You will not be opening it for the next 10 years. And here is a person from Pakistan, origin from Canada, opening shop and operating with impunity. Then I explained how he was moving about with impunity, then guiding him right up to Pushkar, National Defense College, Cochin Shipyard, and other areas. And then globally, he was able to recce the footprints of the ISI and the Pakistan army are very much there. The rogue elements were guiding and navigating him and holding hands. Make no mistake about it, navigating and holding hands, guiding him throughout. And therefore to say that since he got the visa for 5 years, there were willing accessories within the department who facilitated his visa. General Meston has raised this very important point. Since I know how things operate, I would say that there were willing accessories who probably looked the other way. We now have the software. But even when we did not have the software, we had the wherewithal to identify the rogue elements. Those who came from Pakistani origin were subjected to a scanner and were subjected to such a thorough test that these things did not come easily. Not only the visa, but a visa for 5 years, opening shop in Mumbai, moving about with absolute impunity, not only in Mumbai, but in Delhi, in Pushkar, in Pune, but right across the globe, where the footprints of the ISI are very much there. Madhav.
All right, and let me take this question across to Lieutenant Colonel Sandeep Sen. Lieutenant Colonel Sandeep Sen, you're somebody who led the operations on ground. Now, these individuals who came in to carry out the attack perhaps had no contact directly when it comes to Headley and Rana. But the fact that they knew their way around, the fact that they knew exactly where to go and what attacks to conduct shows the immense amount of planning and preparation that went into the recceing and the planning of these attacks. And that was clearly evident on ground when you were conducting those operations. Can you confirm that for our viewers?
Sure. If you see the complete operation, we are, people are focusing on what individually what the Headley has done, it is the plan of Pakistan Army. When the Pakistan Army plans an operation, they have planned in segments. They want to take away the telltale signs. So the entire operation is being planned outside Pakistan. So no link can go back to them. They try to make it such a foolproof, arrangement. So their sleeping, their ISI agent is Tahawwur Rana, is managing the complete recce and planning of the target, strike on the targets from Canada, from the US soil and Canada. Headley's role is only up to the limit because his name being Headley, he does not, attention is not there on his, when he comes and moves in and goes into places. He is white skin, his name is Headley, that's why Headley is being used. Tahawwur Rana's role is much bigger than Headley. He is conducting the complete recce and the Headley is working on his direction. Then the terrorists, the LET is only the operational part. The terrorists being trained, all these operations would have taken at least 3-4 years in planning. And all the nitty-gritties of, exact GPS.
But are you hopeful that the role of Major Iqbal and others in the Pakistan Army will now come out, now that Tahawwur Rana is in the custody of the NIA and the questioning has now begun, sir?
Yeah, that is the major takeaway from Tahawwur Rana. It is not, the justice system will take care of him. But what the information we are going to get from him is amazing. All these people who are behind curtain, only we know the Major Iqbal. Major Iqbal may be Major Wasim or Major B or Major C.
But it could very well be a code name. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Major Sanjay Weston, I want you to come in on this because, thus far, Pakistan always talks about non-state actors carrying out terror and say that we have nothing to do with it. That cover now, perhaps has the risk of being completely blown once Tahawwur Rana starts singing while in custody. Are you hopeful that India will be able to take this to its logical conclusion, diplomatically speaking?
Yeah, I'm quite hopeful India will be able to take it to logical conclusion. And also, I think you quoted Secretary of State Marco Rubio's statement that we are ready to do jointly everything with India and cooperate. I think this is what is very, very important, that together with United States and maybe even with Israel, because even their people were killed, we need to expose this Pakistan factor. But let me tell you, even if we expose it, Pakistan will continue to deny. That is the whole problem. But nevertheless, this has now become a very high-profile international case. And therefore, the National Investigative Agency will do extremely well to get out the minutest details, to the extent that even if there is a requirement, we need to go and get access of David Headley, put every piece together and expose the Pakistan angle of LET, the Pakistan ISI and the Pakistan Army. That is the whole thing, and I think we will be successful. This is a good time to expose Pakistan so that internationally they are branded as a terrorist state. So, Madhav, this is what I feel India can do, and I'm quite optimistic about that.
All right. Major General Sanjay Weston, Dr. Vikram Singh, Lieutenant Colonel Sandeep Sen, and Magnus Ranstorp. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this broadcast. The role of Pakistan, of course, Tahawwur Rana is expected to elaborate on. It's already been pretty well documented, but what further can we glean from Tahawwur Rana's interrogation? That's something that we're all going to have to watch out for. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us and sharing with us your views this evening.